My name is D. Smith. This is TQA Weekly. If ever you have any questions, comments, suggestions for topics, do like CardFan-YouTube did and suggest a topic to me by either email, ask@tqaweekly.com, or just drop them down below on YouTube if you're already here or on my web page. And this week's topic suggested by him is digital rights management, but because it's a very special event for me, and I also have very sad news at the same time, I would like to get to that first. So first of all, it is my 250th episode. No, it's not my last one, so that's not the sad news. I started this show September 19th, 2010, and it's been around for 5 years, doing 50 episodes per year. For those who didn't already know this, the first 9 episodes of my show are audio only, which is why there's only a placeholder on YouTube and not an actual video, because I never actually recorded video at the time. Yes, I can edit videos, and for a long time you may have seen me do a lot of what we call botchy work, but guess what? I don't do this job as full-time job. I do it to help you out, and obviously as I get along I get more videos, more ads, a little bit more money so that I can actually pay for stuff, which you can also help me do by going to patreon.com/TQA Weekly. So anything you can pitch in helps me buy things like lights and a background and other hardware that I can use to actually make this show better, and even help me pay for licenses like Adobe. So yeah, thank you for watching this show. The sad news is my grandfather, who also has watched various amounts of my show, has recently passed away, so this episode is for him. So this episode is about digital rights management. I'm going to focus on operating systems, applications, and games. I know there's a whole bunch of other different types of DRMs. I'm not interested in them, since most of the time I just stream my stuff. Legitimately stream my stuff, yes, but I usually stream my stuff, whether it be through Google Play Store or iTunes or Netflix or whatever. I don't care. I don't usually buy discs anymore. So for the most part, the DRMs that influence most of us will be those that have to piss us off with our games, our applications, and our operating systems. So the first type of DRM that most of us already know is the CD key, or the serial number. This is basically something invented by Microsoft, or at least used by Microsoft first, that is a way of curbing piracy of their operating system. A lot of the applications used to be on disk and you just installed them before. So when you were finally able to really install them, Microsoft needed a way to curb piracy by forcing people to have a unique CD key or serial number that they can use to install the application, so that they can actually make sure that people actually bought their operating system. And they use a 25-character CD key for this. However, this is not enough, because just having a CD key doesn't prevent very much, as many people will know. If they don't count the number of installs, that becomes an issue. So the next natural progression was the limited install activation. This means that you are expected to install no more than X amount of times your game, operating system, or application. In these cases, the counter could either be rolled back by uninstalls or by time. In the case of Microsoft, you're almost expected to format every 6 months to a year, so they periodically roll back automatically. However, installing games and applications and just deleting your operating system is not necessarily a good idea, so uninstalling them is usually better before formatting your computer. That way you can actually roll back the counter. Failing this, most of these places have service agents that will help you with that kind of stuff. Then we had the advent of the POA, or Persistent Online Authentication, which is another way that publishers like EA, Ubisoft, Valve, and Atari validate the validity of your game installation by making sure that the number of installations that you have that are currently running is like 1, and that you are actually a paying client. However, this does come with various limitations, such as having to be continuously connected to the internet in order to do so. Some other companies have abandoned this, and some of them have used a different type of game logic by actually introducing the game logic as being part of the server function and not the computer function. So companies like Blizzard actually use this, obviously, for the MMORPGs like World of Warcraft and other games, and obviously EA even tried this with SimCity, but they soon actually recanted by moving the game logic back onto the person's computer, because having to attach a internet connection to a non-internet needing game, so that means all games that are not MMORPG or online play only, like COD's multiplayer, anything that has to do with single player modes, many people would agree should be on our computers and not on a server. So persistent online authentication or server-side game logic put aside, if the game logic engine is for a single player, most people agree it should be on our computers. So limited installations can be very annoying for those who frequently install their applications, update, or even upgrade their computers. However, the worst is technically server-side game logic processing and to a slightly lesser extent persistent online authentication. But unlike limited install and CD keys, which you can lose, PAE, server-side processing requires that the publisher server-side server be online in order to function. So for those who didn't already know this, POA, or persistent online authentication, and servers that actually function as part of the game logic engine, if these things are offline, your game, whether you bought it or not, no longer works. So the best DRM, provided the company never goes bankrupt and no serial key is required, is the account attached limited install game activation technique. So for those who didn't already know, Steam can actually, as long as Steam itself does not go bankrupt, can actually prevent you from losing your games by allowing you to have an account as opposed to a serial number or a CD key that you can use to download and play your games that do not have online multiplayer. So what ends up happening is, even if the original publisher goes bankrupt, having things like Steam is actually better than using a CD key or limited install limitation. However, Steam may very well not exist forever, so at the end of the day, don't lose that CD key. Basically, that's all I have to say. At one point, you may have to download all your games off of Steam, and you will have to save all of your CD keys to be able to continue playing. When this happens, that CD key will become infinitely more important, and at the end of the day, that is the only thing that will prevent you from continuously losing all of your games, especially losing all of them outright. So that is digital rights management for you. For those who haven't already subscribed, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions down below. For those who don't already know this, you can go to patreon.com/TQA Weekly to help me out with this show. Have a great day and goodbye. Thank you for watching.